Welcome to another episode of the Power Hour as we're in the middle of our final season. I'm Steve, along with the urban sensation C Red, a man amongst other names. We'll talk about that in a minute. And welcoming back to the show, one of our favorite guests from C3 Wrestling. It is Classic Alpha Chris Williams. I'm sorry you're coming back to this show, not to have a friendly conversation, not to have a great time to talk about the old times, talk about the new times. There's some things going on in your house that I was a little surprised to see. But we'll talk about it as we go. So how you doing, Classic? Yeah, I mean, you look great. You're moving good. You're feeling good. You sound good. I'm always glad to see you.
I'm glad and not glad to be here. And it's nothing against you, Steve. It's definitely the person that your co-host, you know. But you know, I'm still here, so I can't complain,
Well, we
unfortunately.
appreciate you coming in, and I wish C Red could be here tonight, but unfortunately he had other business. So sitting in is whoever the fuck this Mister Young is. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Hi, Mister Young. How are you? Are we teaching class? What's going on here?
Oh, class is definitely in session.
Oh, that I see. All right, so I guess he's just going to sit here and let me do all the heavy lifting as usual. Mr. Red does. Mr. Red only he's like the Brock Lesnar of podcasts. He's got a part-time schedule. He just sits there, smokes, looks at his TikToks and shit. Have you ever seen C Red on TikTok?
I haven't seen his TikToks,
I
not
think you should
familiar
go to
with a lot of
TikTok
his stuff.
because boy, man, if you're wondering what Michael Bivins would look like when he's 75 singing songs, it's T Red, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean that with all due respect. So let's talk about it. Let's get to it. We just had a big C3 event. They're all big. You're the one promotion that has a show in the middle of the day on a Saturday and draws great crowds, very spirited crowds. And I've always admired that because I've worked a couple of places where we do the midday stuff, and it's not an easy draw, especially on a Saturday. People are out and about. Even in the crappy weather, people are out and about doing stuff midday on a Saturday. And you guys seem to have a very solid crowd each and every time you do it. Plus, your roster is deep, filled with great characters. I mean, as much as I hate D'Angelo Steele, I love D'Angelo Steele because I hate D'Angelo Steele. So your roster is, the ARC and I go way back over the many years. So anytime I see Miles and Renee, it always brings back fond memories. So I love what you're doing. Um, are you going to keep doing it your way, or is this quote unquote takeover business for real?
Um, Unfortunately, for the time being, uh, I'm not in control. Unfortunately, before all of this stuff with takeovers and boards and everything, we did noon
The board,
shows.
classic. Say it the correct way.
The
The board.
board, the
The
boring
board.
board, the cupboard, the board.
Okay.
Anyway, anyway, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. We've
Yeah.
always done afternoon shows because we also think about the wrestlers as well. Some wrestlers they want to wrestle later shows and things like that. Also, the availability is more open for the most part to do afternoon shows. And we used to pride ourselves in being pop-up wrestling shop, pop-up shows. Basically, we set up, we do everything, we have a wonderful show, and then we tear down the same day. I know other companies, no shade to them, they set up the night before or it's an all day process. And for the most part, we've done a great job with setting up, starting on time, putting on stellar shows, and taking it out through in a timely fashion.
Hey, that's a golden bonus because a well-run promotion is always great to work for and to watch because everybody there is taking it seriously and pulling in the same direction. But now that there is another force involved, I'm hoping that it doesn't go deviate from the way you have it because when you've got a tight run ship and you bring in a bunch of prima donnas looking for a power trip, it can get sloppy. And I would hate the good name of C3 to get sloppy because the wrong influence is in charge.
With that being said, there was a lot of decisions that I made. I'll carry the brunt over it. And basically these investors, that's how they got into basically running C3, private investors. And unfortunately, there were some things on my end that I didn't pull through with, unfortunately. And I didn't know exactly who they were, but unfortunately, almost every other show, there's like a member. As there's one right here with a cigar, also on the Power Hour. And I would say to you, Steve, please be careful working with him, or he'll take this over too. I'm just saying,
Well,
if he can,
yeah,
if he can do what he did to his own son, I can imagine what he can do to somebody he would consider his partner. Just saying.
I'm basically his partner when convenient to a certain extent. So I've learned to live with that, and it's worked out very well for the years that we've been doing this. And if he's going to take control of it, he's got a very short time span, because at the end of the year, we're going to be wrapping this package finally. But that's a topic for another time. So now that you have been taken over and your power is no longer yours, what does that do to show preparation for Classic Alpha and Mrs. Classic Alpha? Because you two are the heart and soul. Let's put the cards on the table. You've got a great roster, but it ain't C3 without Classic Alpha. There are just some promotions where you take that pivotal character out and it ceases to be what it was. You are an iconic character. You're an iconic champion. You're an iconic boss. Every time I've seen a couple of C3 shows over the years, and everybody's always waiting to see what you're doing. That's a leader. That is a high draw talent. That's what you are. Now that you don't have control over what is going on from your character standpoint, what you'll be doing, you just have to kind of show up there and you don't really know what's going on. Obviously, you do now that, what is it, the new age governor? I mean, are we, what are you, what is this, a state now? C3 has become, they've seceded from the union. So
politics, right?
Governors
Politics.
now? I mean, does he have dinner with our governor? I don't even know what a governor. I've never heard of a governor in wrestling before.
True.
Really, general manager, president. I mean, I governor. I don't know.
True,
but then I saw the promo.
Politics.
But then I saw the promo, and I'm like, man, he might not even be he might not even be like a senator. He's just kind of there. But the new age governor seems to have the idea that the board can take you out. I heard him in his promo today that he is calling the next show, the May show, a classic ending. And, I find it hard to believe that anything ends for Classic Alpha unless Classic Alpha says it's over. No one's taking you out. You are taking yourself and walking away when the time comes. So I find it hard that a new age governor can impose his will on Classic Alpha. What do you say about that?
He has nothing to say about that.
Right, let the man answer. What the hell?
I actually do.
He has no control over this. He has none.
I actually do have something to say.
He can know who his opponent is and get ready. But as he learned during the takeover, that even his wife is subject to our will.
Watch your mouth.
Whoa. We're not doing that here.
Watch your mouth.
Hey, all I'm saying is they thought, little Miss Prissy, who is kind of funny while her boys were being beaten up, her little fat ass wasn't even around.
Hey, that is absolutely disrespectful. Don't you go there.
Oh, now you're a defender of Renee Van Peebles? Man,
I'm not. It's not about defending anybody. It's about not being a prick.
Hey, tomato. Hey, whatever. Her ass wasn't around. I didn't see her coming to save her precious Miles and her precious Stampede. Like, no, you know why? Because she'd have got her fucking head knocked off. Anyway, but we had a little surprise. She thought she was defending it against anybody. She probably thought it was Vega Venom again. And what happened? Oh no, we made a phone call and it was Brittany K. Yeah, okay. But we also decided to put somebody else's name on the contract, and just happens to be Mrs. Classic. And
Yeah,
even though she was selling tickets and selling merch, she found out real quick under the board, everybody is liable. So Classic
it's,
is gonna step into this match the same way. He doesn't know what I have right here on this paper. He doesn't know. And that's the beautiful part. He doesn't know.
well, just
He,
like
he doesn't know. Guess what? It might be a handicap match. It might be his opponent gets to use any weapon of his choosing. I said his opponent, not him.
Why don't you give
Might be a tables match. I mean,
What do you-
what better way to end?
give Classic a chance to fucking answer the question?
Whatever. Let him
it's
talk.
just
Why don't you have a little class on this show?
always,
What the hell is happening?
always trying to be in the middle of something. Always. But just like what my wife did at the show, we've been fighting. Regardless of the situations, the circumstances, and everything, we just been fighting. So to going from running the show to just being a part of it, it basically took a toll on us, because we obviously are getting targeted. My match against Nick Diamond was interrupted talking about a time limit draw. We never had that before in C3 Ultimate Wrestling history. We never had it. My wife being a part of a match at the last minute, that's nothing that we've done before. But now the board, they're supposed to be taking care of things and doing things better. This is what they've done. This is their representation of it. Him, the young guy, the young fellow, he's attacking his son, and he's attacking the group he was a part of.
Not a part of. See, there we go. A part of. Let's rewind. Steven, didn't I start that group?
Well,
Yes or no? There's no well.
I
yes
give
or no.
Aaron Xavier just as much credit in starting that group as I give you. So you had
But
a hand in it, but it's not your baby.
But there were two of us, and there was nobody else. Thank you. So you were corrected. Classic. Keep going.
Yeah, you will be corrected one day too, sir.
I don't see how.
You won't even see it coming.
Let's see. The board presented takeover. Yet look at the crowd we drew. Look at the money we brought in. Makes my investment a lot more, right? The more money we bring in, the better my investment looks.
And I won't knock nobody spending money to come see a C3 Ultimate Wrestling show. Not a board show, a C3 Ultimate Wrestling show. A lot of things have been going up as far as the things.
We like the name, but people don't know what C3 stands for. So I mean, it's fine.
I think C3 Ultimate Wrestling sounds a lot better than the board. You know what I'm saying? A piece of
but it sounds so much better. See, the board presents that we present. We're presenting. But I mean, and I get it, Chris. Just like my son. Neither one of you saw this coming. Like, I don't get it. Now, I must admit, You had no idea who the investors are. None. None.
They hiding. They cowards.
We,
Hiding.
we're not cowards. We're smart people. And over time, you will realize, as right now I deem fit, I'll let you know who they are. But right now, you already know three of us. But my son, that was that was so painful. It hurt him more than it hurt me.
And you know what? Let me say this. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with everything that D'Angelo Steele has done his whole career or anything like that. And you, of all people, being a father, you know that we have to teach our kids stuff of hard knocks. And they got to learn things on their own. But to actually do physical harm to your son, that was some sucker stuff right there.
How's that a sucker
That
stuff?
was some sucker stuff right there.
Let's be
It's one. No, hold on.
let's
It's
be
one thing.
honest.
It's one.
You're
Hold on.
you're from
It's one
Texas.
thing.
You're
It's
from
one thing.
Texas.
No, hold on. It's
No, there's
one
no
thing.
hope.
It's one thing for him to learn on his own, to fall on his backside and get back up and try again. But when the father puts his hands on his child for
It's
an
called
opportunity
discipline.
to run a
called-
company,
It's not called for opportunity. I already had the opportunity.
okay.
Remember,
Sure.
I'm the investor.
Sure.
But let's be honest.
You're the investor, huh? Remember that shit when you bring your car in to get fixed, Mr. Moneybags.
Know that, guess what? You grew up in a African American household. Did your father let you just get away with whatever you wanted to get away with after he told you don't do it? No. Now, maybe you did, but I grew up in a household where, guess what? You got an ass whooping. When you didn't do what you were told, you got your ass whooped. And you remember for the next time that, guess what? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should listen to my parental guidance. So, Steele had to learn the hard way. He had to get his ass whooped to understand. Get away from that deviant Miles Mercer. Miles is a cancer.
Y'all jumped him.
There was no y'all jumped him. I jumped. If you paid attention. But you were there were other people and they took care of Miles and Larkin, but you were paying attention, but you were pretty much deer with the headlights because you never saw me coming. Why do you keep thinking I kept coming to the shows, Classic? Why? Just so I could pay money to sit in the seat and watch some, which is fantastic action. But that was it. I gave Steele that title. So technically that title should be mine. That title should be sitting right here. You know it. I had the perfect opportunity to throw him over. And I didn't. So once we eliminated Atlas, all I had to do was dump him over.
So you had remorse because you wanted to be
it was no remorse.
You said you gave your son the title, and fast forward, you attack your son.
When you give your son a gift, let's be honest, you have two beautiful gentlemen, right?
Correct.
And if you decide to buy, let's say, a vehicle for one of them on their 16th birthday, but yet you find out They're not going to school. They're cutting class. They're drag racing. Are you going to continue to let them have that car? No, you're going to take it away from them. So, again, Steele's going to learn the hard way. Your father tried to tell you, but you don't want to listen. Your father tried to tell you to stop hanging out with those knuckleheads that mean you no good. They don't care about you. But you
Okay,
believe they do.
Okay, but I'm gonna say this though. Putting yourself in danger is one thing, and also being a disciplinary for your child is also another thing. However, as a man, which still is, he has to make decisions and he has to learn on his own. Just like something I have to tell my boys all the time. Him hanging out with friends that you don't like or you don't associate with, that's not your role to try to discipline your son. You let him make those decisions for himself. Seems like you just wanted to just be his focal point over his friends.
So that's how you feel, Chris.
That's what I see. It ain't about what I feel, it's what I see. I don't even like the ARC I don't even like the ARC like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even trust them. But at the same time, Steele has been a champion. You gave him the belt, sure, but he's been defending, he's been fighting, he's been doing the stuff.
But
so he's doing what works for him. He's doing what works for him. You might have not worked for him. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what's eating you up. That's what's eating you up inside. Is that you are not working for your son. Your son decides that he wanted to hang out with some friends, some people that were under your wing. And now you're upset. So this makes sense why you're part of the board.
What makes sense?
You're not disciplining him. You're hurting him. There's a difference.
It's funny. You're a religious man, Chris.
For sure.
Don't you understand that our Father disciplines us? Doesn't he, Chris?
Yes, but he also gives us free will.
You question?
But he gives us free will, though. But he gives us free will, and I'm not sitting here saying.
So you're questioning God now?
No.
Questioning God?
Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
Are you questioning God?
Are you crazy?
He's your father, and when he disciplines you, do you question it?
Are you comparing yourself to God?
Yes, Steve. He's comparing himself to God.
God now? Are you kidding me?
Comparing himself to God.
Do you say?
Listeners,
first of all, C-Red is no more. And I explained that to you. See, that's the problem, Classic, that you don't get through that nappy head of yours. That's why it's covered.
Are you a Trinity now? Are you in the Trinity? If you're a God, are you the Trinity now? Like
that you don't get it. You don't understand. First of all, C-Red is no more. It is Mr. Young. Second of all, again, how I choose to discipline my child is my business. I don't come in your house, in your personal home, and tell you how to discipline your children. No, that is your personal.
C3 is my home. That is the creation of me and my wife.
But I'm glad you did that in my ring. I'm glad you brought it up.
You did that.
But when you put that little feeler out and you asked for investors, you kind of made it public. And guess what? Me and my friends took advantage of it. So really, as you stated earlier, the blame is on you. You opened this door. You created this problem. And me and my friends saw an opportunity. An opportunity to not only make more money, which actually, thanks to you, I appreciate you. You just paid for my whole trip to Atlanta. I appreciate it. Thank you. First class, top 5-star hotel. I appreciate it.
You stayed at a 5-star hotel and you cut a fucking car promo? The hell's wrong with you? You get in the suite, you sit in the throne and make the video.
First class for no class. That's what we call
No
it. We call
class.
it first
wrong
class for
with
no
you?
class.
No class?
What
Look,
is
first of all, Steve, understand, shut the fuck up. You're still butthurt over Friday. And we'll
I
get to
don't
that
think I'm
later.
God. I
You're
don't know
still
what the
butthurt.
fuck is happening here.
You know what's happening. It's we just said it at the last show. It's the takeover.
Great.
And the problem is, Classic is so in his feelings, and he can't do anything about
This
it.
is your friend for years. And
Okay,
you decided money was more important than your friend?
you damn right. Where the fuck you been at?
Gave him a
My
card for the
friend, my
gave
friend
him a
don't
card. Hold
this
on, gave him
friend
a
don't-
card.
This friend don't keep these lights on.
Gave him
This
a
friend
card
don't pay
for-
these bills.
Gave him a card for his final show. Showed up to IPW. Shout out to everybody over there for the retirement match. Shout out to you, Steve, and everything you continue to do over there with everything. And Rion was there. All of that just to fast forward. And now he's running the company, attacking his son. Ain't that so?
He's not looking real retired anymore, is he?
Not at
Have
all.
I
He
gotten
think
the
he
ring?
God now. He think
Have
he
I
God now.
Have I gotten into the ring and laced up boots? That's the beautiful part, Steve, that I love about you. Because I want you to go back and watch the RPW video where it was me, Johnny Nye, Pax, and out of your mouth, now I said it, but you kind of said it more eloquently, that this is C-Red's final match lacing up the boots. Since then, you have not seen me lace up a pair of boots, have you?
No.
You haven't.
I think I'm watching you nail yourself to a cross, Jesus. What is happening here?
Again, we saw an opportunity that thank you. So you can't say I'm not polite. I'm thanking you for giving us
He's your friend.
the 3 Ultimate Wrestling.
Your boy.
I consider him a brother.
Okay,
It would be like you're
I
shitting on
consider-
Marche
and
right
you-
now.
you saw what I fucking did to my son. What the fuck?
Can't understand any of this.
There's do you need to understand it?
This ain't big business Levi. This is classic alpha. He's your friend. He's been on this show. You guys sat here and
Oh,
told
well,
stories
shit, if
for
this was-
2 hours.
If this was Levi, I'd have just shot his
Better than
ass.
this.
I'd have just shot his ass.
You talk shit about the man's wife.
I didn't talk
What is
shit
happening
about her.
here?
I didn't talk shit about her. I just
You're gonna end up
But
being fucking Chris Rock and get popped in the jaw, brah.
he can't. That's the beautiful part. He can't touch any member of the board. Guess what? Because if he does, everything belongs
What's that
to
rule?
us.
Who made the rule?
Understand? See, that's the beautiful part about contracts.
Was that the new age bitch that made the rule?
Don't worry about who made the contract. The problem is
That guy looks like he weighs 105 pounds wet.
he signed the contract.
The governor of the padded room. The new age governor of the padded room.
Jesus.
But you signed, but you keep forgetting. You, Chris Classic, took this tool. You took this tool. Nobody else. You took this tool. Christopher Classic Williams.
He's your friend, man. What are you doing?
Understand, Steven. Do I really have friends or do I have associates?
What is that? We welcome to the show now Squirrel Girl, aka Cactus Rack. Cactus, you picked the wrong time to come in, girl. Hey, girl, hey, but things have gone to hell in a handcart very quickly.
Hey girl, hey, I love hell and I love drama, so I will just sit and watch.
You don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this.
Oh, I want to watch this.
Red, this is no way to bring.
Who?
I'm sorry, Mr. Young. We have a responsibility to do this show and treat our guests well. That's what we do. We put them over. You have been running this man down since jump. This is your friend. This is not some schmuck off the street. This is not some filler material. This is classic.
I am not running him down. I believe
Run him down the whole time.
I believe Classic Alpha is a top-notch performer. Suck-ass businessman, but top-notch performer. And guess what, Steve? At Press Start 3, we're going to see him perform. Probably for the last time.
Well, Sam Knight is a formidable foe. There's no doubt about that. The man has one of the harshest and most devastating spears I've seen in 12 years. Sam Knight is some kind of athlete, and he's got that look in his eye these days that he is trying to hurt people and get everything he can out of this business until he leaves. So that is a formidable foe, Classic. That is a formidable foe.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Remember at the last RPW show when we were sitting there, did you pay attention that I walked off with Sam Knight?
Yeah, come to think of it, that's true. Oh, no.
I just understand with over 20 years of experience, over 20 years, I know people.
Well, you walked off with Corey McKenna. Wait a minute.
I walked off with Corey, but that has nothing to do with this. Nothing.
You're gonna see Corey McHenry at C3? Is that another member of your entourage you're bringing on?
He's not, but he is a nephew of mine, But we're talking.
Brought in Brittany K.
Probably gonna stab him in the back too. His nephew. I mean, look at what he did to his son.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
No, because
do family matters. Do family matters to
people
Mr. Young?
listen. Some people listen.
Family doesn't matter to Mr. Young. Not at all.
And that's amazing to me because I thought family was everything to Mr. Young.
Oh, family is a beautiful thing.
We have been down the road
I sit here and I hold my grandchildren and I kiss my children and I love them all.
Are you going to beat them all up?
It's not about beating them up, but again,
one of the babies steals your cookie and you feel like you got to discipline them?
Steven, and I'm sure you've heard this because you're old as dirt and you've heard this line before. Hard head makes a soft ass. And Steele's ass is soft now. And we're going to rectify that again at Press Start. Because Nameless will demolish. And I pray, and Classic, you can make a phone call if you like to people you don't like. And if the ARC, any of them are involved, we're stripping them of their titles. We don't need them. They're just our little chew toys right now.
So let me get this straight. Since we started this show, you have given Classic 5 words. He said 38 seconds to speak. So you conned me in to this thing, not to put over the legend that Classic is, but to have the Mr. Young coming out party?
I'm coming out.
You're not my god, brother.
I want the world to know.
Not even close.
Got to let it show.
Classic, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what I wouldn't in a million years have
They
thought.
not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
It's okay. I mean, like he said, you know, C Red is dead. And little does he know he's dead to me now. So it's okay, you know. And
Oh,
which is funny. Which is funny because
did you ever?
I actually bought this, you know, to support. And it does cut off where it says, you know, red no more. So it's like it's just funny. I just, you know, as I throw that away, you know, it was so foretelling, and I, you know,
Oh,
honestly, I didn't see it come.
but
Honestly,
thank
and
you. You did buy it, so I
hey,
appreciate your
it is
patience.
what it is. We support people. We don't beat them down, unlike you. So hey, it is what it is. You know. So hey,
The best.
and it's press start 3, by the way. It's not just press start. It's press start 3.
I
Press start.
once you watch the video again, sir, you'll hear me say press start 3. So
You
I
said
hate to
you
Never
correct
watched
you
this back.
again.
Why
I
would
hate
he
to.
ever watch? I don't think he wants to live it the first time around.
Well, I'm just saying
just saying press start.
he
I'm
has
saying
he has to be corrected because if he goes back and he watches the video, he'll see that I said press start 3.
you
I
definitely
might have
just said
said
press
press
start.
start
Ain't getting no
later,
news
but it
tonight.
doesn't matter.
He ain't
Sure,
getting no
press
news
start.
tonight.
Sure.
Press start 3 will
The
be it.
board has to be corrected, so it's okay. You see how they
But the
act. You know what I'm
but
saying?
the board is in control.
Talk to the
And,
governor.
and you hate that. You hate this Xander. Just put everything is on the line. You have nothing but your career in C3. And guess what? If Sam Knight comes in as pissed off as I believe he will be, you have nothing. You won't lace up those little white shiny boots anymore, thinking you're Eddie Guerrero. Oh my!
Those boots are amazing. That's just not right.
You won't put on that little green cape anymore, thinking you're the Hurricane.
We love
No.
that cape.
All you'll be able to do is come in and stand there and watch as we blossom. And it has nothing to do with you. It really won't. Nothing at all, classic. And again, I get it. You're frustrated and you're upset and you're mad and I'm willing to take all of that lashing.
You are a bad friend.
It doesn't change anything. That's the problem. Again, you did this with this one little instrument. You did this. It wasn't a folding chair. It wasn't a sledgehammer. How you didn't see that coming. But you did this with this tool right here. You didn't ask for a lawyer to look over the contracts. You accepted the money and you signed away. Yes, you're thinking about it right now, Chris. See, maybe if you would have called somebody and said, "Hey, I'm doing this. Is this good? Should I do this? What do you think about this?" See, that's what you used to do. Isn't that right, Chris? When you were preparing for shows, I would get a phone call. I would get a text. I would get a DM. "Hey, bro, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Hey, bro, is this a good match? You think?" And I would tell you. 9 times out of 10, I would agree with you. I saw your vision, and that's what makes it hurt so much, Chris. It hurts because I've seen your vision. You've laid out your vision since day one. I've been there with you. and you laid it out. But when this move happened, did you call? No. Did you text? No. Did you even DM? No. But I regress. You did this on your own. I mean, I get it. You and Shay, you are a couple, and I get that. Marriage, perfect. But you didn't ask anybody else. Is it good to open the books and let investors in? No, you didn't. So when the opportunity came across my desk, right here, and I got a nice little envelope, it wasn't hard. And if you relook at said contracts, and I can have our lawyers re-deliver them to you, you won't see red. Mr. Young. That check you cashed, my signature. If you've never paid attention all these years, I'm the one that signed your government name on that blank check with those numbers on it that you asked for. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. You have done so many upgrades, especially to the ring. Oh my God. I'm so proud of you. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. But at this point, you don't want to play ball with us. So things have to change. And we've been telling you that for months. Xander has been telling you that for months. And I get it. You just thought, hey, here's this young guy. He doesn't know anything. Okay. I get it. But as you have, I want you to go back over the past year, and you'll see slowly our hands are all in the cookie jar. And that's the beautiful part. Guess what? We're not done. You don't know who's going to show up at Press Start 3. There might be somebody else sitting in the audience. It might be somebody at the concession stand. It might be somebody in the locker room. And you can't do anything. That's wonderful. You can't do anything. Yes, you can come on podcasts and you can gripe and you can bitch and you can moan and you can.
He did it. He allowed him to say 5 words.
But at the end of the day,
Jesus.
you can't do anything. You can't take our name off the flyers.
Red, I am dangerously close to muting you. Dangerously close.
Steve, we fell out before. Have I really given a damn? I'm just saying. But you know what? I digress. Go on, Steve. Continue.
On behalf of the Power Hour and decent humans everywhere, I want to apologize, Chris, for what you showed up to tonight. Had I known it was going to go this way, I would have saved you the trouble. Let's shift gears for a moment and let's talk about the match between you and Nick Diamond, because I'm a I'm a fan of Nick Diamond and his work. I don't like him very much, but that's a very interesting matchup. You and Nick Diamond, but from a skill set level and from an entertainment level. What were your impressions? I mean, obviously before Shenanigans went down, of working with someone like Nick Diamond, because that's a very interesting addition to C3 Wrestling if he's going to be there for any extended period of time.
Nick Diamond is a lot of people would say he's the future of the business. I disagree. I think he is the current. I think he is the wave, the new wave, and I think he's one of the ones at the top of the list. So even when the board said that this was going to go down, I was actually excited about it. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, especially me being the older guy, been in the business a little bit longer than him. I definitely wanted to show that I could still wrestle and go and face, and not only face, but beat one of the top dogs. Unfortunately, the Xander fellow, he decided to say it was a time limit draw right when I was close to actually winning. So definitely a frustrating aspect of that night.
Was that established before the match started that
Not
there
at
was
all.
a time limit?
Not at all.
Or they just
Not
looked
at
at the
all.
clock and said, "Yeah, we're done. It's
Not
time."
at all.
That is
He wasn't
crazy.
even paying it. He wasn't even paying attention to me majority of the show. Well, majority of the match, he wasn't even paying attention to me. And then as soon as I had him in my move, and he was close to tapping, that's when he decided to ring the bell. So he wasn't recording. I know he said he had his phone, probably was a screenshot of a time limit, but still. So this was one, once again, I want to reiterate before that jealous man over there says something, because he hasn't been talking for a while. I know he wants to speak. I really wanted to face this man because he is one of the top stars of the Midwest. Not only just that, in pro wrestling, some people knew about this. And the victory was stolen away from me because of something of a time limit draw. Just want to say, like, how they're trying to torment me and get in my head. Or they're doing these kind of things. Time limit draws, using my wife, making her wrestle and stuff like that. Putting her job on the line if she refuses. Even Kenny Nine, like, we still trying to figure out what's going on with Kenny Nine, who was attacked and Enter the Limelight. And there's no investigation for that at all. It seems like they're targeting people that I'm really, really cool and close with. I'm just saying.
Well, that's a bad optic, targeting somebody's wife. In wrestling and in the world, I mean, it's not cool to treat a woman like an object. I thought we had gotten past that. Apparently the board has taken a Neanderthal approach to life in 2025. And, that approach can only last so long, especially after, what he ran down Renee Van Peebles. It's, and to run down your wife like that, it's unacceptable. And I apologize. So now Sam Knight.
Correction, Renee Van Peebles looked like she's already been run over.
That's your
Hey, sweetie, how are you?
Hey. I got earphones in, so wave, say hey.
She thinks she's looking at Reginald Vell Johnson from Family Matters. Too bad your buddy Vance is in here looking like Urkel, the governor. Now I know why you said Family Matters, because you guys could restart. You could reboot the show.
Right.
What's
days
It's
go by.
funny. You've got so many jokes, and I want you to deliver all that hate this way. I understand you two also are butthurt over Friday.
We're not going to talk. We're not going to waste Classic's time talking about my problems on Friday. This is about C3. This is about how a man
this is about people are tired. People are tired. And guess what?
I don't think one human being
we want
the board on that
ours. Day. We want what's ours. Whether it's C3 Ultimate Wrestling or whether it's CSW, it's funny. A lot of these companies start with C's. Oh. Okay.
Now we have to look down the road to a man you know very well in Sam Knight. not knowing what stipulations are going to be introduced because it could be any, like the good Lord had said earlier. How do you prepare for a man that is tough as nails, matches you size and strength, and now could use weapons of his choosing? Everything could be sanctioned against you. How do you prepare for them stacking the deck against you, taking a person that you know so well, and they're going to give him every opportunity and advantage to beat you and make a statement? That's a tough road to hoe, my friend.
Continue to fight. You know, I've been fighting up my whole life. You know, I was never really fought down with an advantage at all. So I've always been fighting up. Sam Knight, I actually have a history with him because this is actually the guy that Mr. Young, he had hired to join Renee one time to face me and my wife before. And what happened was they were trying to take us out, and Sam refused to because he wanted to do it on his own merit, and they wound up attacking him. Mr. Young wasn't there, but I'm sure he heard about that certain situation. But still, as far as Sam Knight, there's not a lot of people as strong as him, as big as him. He is an irresistible force. I am the immovable object. So this is a match that I feel like both of us, a lot of stakes are on the line. You know, this will be the last time somebody will be wrestling at C3 Ultimate Wrestling. So that turns everything up a whole notch. Also, 5 more stoves. Got to turn the notch up. So I plan to win, and I will win. And Sam, being the hitman and also calling himself the right hand of God, working for somebody who considers himself a god from this session that we're having, is very interesting to say the least.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here just because I want to hear how you answer this question, and I mean no disrespect. Something goes wrong and you aren't able to defeat Sam Knight. How does a man like you walk away from something he built from the ground up based on the shenanigans and the ego run amok of some of your friends? It's just it's devastating if it happens. I'm certainly not predicting it. I mean, I'm classic alpha all the way. As much as I respect Sam Knight, there's only one classic alpha, but if hell freezes over and the unthinkable happens, how do you respond to that?
I can't lose. I don't even want to put that in my mind. Like I said, Sam Knight is a formidable foe, and he won't take no BS. And I can't think of nothing outside of a victory for something that me and my wife worked so hard for, and to lose and to leave the doors of Harold's Private Venue and to never to return to a C3 Ultimate Wrestling ring. I can't think about that, Steve. I
Correction. Let me correct you, classic. Who said you wouldn't able to be returning to the venue? I need someone to drive the truck. There you go. I need a ring master foreman. There we are. That works. We'll make sure you are compensated, you know. Remember, we come up from the days of old. A hot dog and a handshake.
This man is your friend, Mr. Young, longtime friend. You know, thinking you're a god and being a god are two significantly different things. And right now, brother, your ego has run amok.
My ego? No, what
And
had
now
ran amok was my checkbook.
It makes sense how you are bounced from the touches. You've distanced yourself from the ARC. You just can't keep your mouth shut.
First of all, nobody was bounced, Steve. Let's
Like
be
a
honest. The
snowball.
soul touches dissolve. everybody broke off and went and did
On
their
March
own
7th,
thing.
at Highland Park, you get to see the Soul Touches wrestle.
Okay, but guess what? It's not the same flavor, is
Oh,
it?
it's a pretty tasty flavor.
But it's not the same, Steve. Because you ask those people on the East Coast, you ask those people worldwide that bought DVDs and videos of us and streamed those videos. Guess what? The music isn't the same. There's nobody leading them out. There's nobody cutting those promos like nobody else. So it's not the same, Steve.
You know, they are asking the people that are asking, they're like, where's Trauma? I didn't hear anybody say where's Red, Mr. Young.
You know why? Because C-Red is gone, Steve. Get it through your head.
So they
Get
don't
it.
miss you.
And
So
I'm
they don't
gonna
miss you.
sit next to your ass on Saturday, Mr.
So they don't
Young.
miss you.
They don't miss me, classic.
They
No,
don't miss you.
and I'm fine with that because I don't miss their ass either. All I care about is guess what? C3 Ultimate Wrestling and all the beautiful fans that show up and all the beautiful fans that go to Eventbrite. Get your tickets now, ladies and gentlemen, on Eventbrite. Press *3, C3 Ultimate Wrestling. And guess what? I love what I check my little communication system right here. And I can go to Eventbrite and I can just see the money rising. And then I see the money get deposited into my account. And then I have to call up the governor, Xander. Did you make sure you got your? And he says, yeah, I got mine too. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a wonderful, what a wonderful world we live in of the age of technology. I don't leave anywhere. And all of it is on here in my notifications. You have a deposit. You have a deposit from C3 Ultimate Wrestling. Oh, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But keep working. But no, you'll always have a job. Again, U-Hauls don't drive themselves, bro. They
Classic,
not like us.
sorry,
They not like us.
I'm
They not
sorry.
like us.
I'm embarrassed. I feel like I've wasted your time tonight, and I have no words other than I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize. Like I said, C3 Ultimate Wrestling is me and my wife's creation. So maybe under new ownership and leadership, but that is still our creation. So, like I said, even fighting up going against Sam Knight, we're still fighting up to try to get our company back. And it doesn't seem like it's possible, but we're going to do every and anything to get it back. So don't apologize for his actions. Just I don't know. I detect a lot of jealousy. I detect a lot of ego. I detect a lot of stuff with him. So
And called
But-
himself a god. That's volumes.
yeah. Just
What's the date of the big show? May what?
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. Mr. Young should have said that before I did. Mr. Money
Why?
Man.
You're performing.
Mr. Money
You
Man.
want
No,
people to-
I'm not
you want
performing.
people-
This is my life. No,
you
see,
want,
that's
you
that's
want
see
people
that.
to come
Hold on.
out
That's
and
the thing
see
between
see
that's
your
the
very
thing.
last
That's
match.
the thing between other wrestlers and me, right? I'm not performing. This is my life. Before this loser leaves C3 match, wrestling has been my life. It's not a performance. It's not an act. Sure,
It'll
entertainment.
still be
This
your,
is a
it'll
this
still be
this
your
is
life.
a form of service to the fans. That's why they call me classic for a reason. This is not a performance. This is my life.
And you know
My
what
life
happens?
My life
know what
is on the
happens
line
to
every time I put
plastic?
boots on. So
You know what happens to
I want to
plastic
say
things?
it's
They
not.
get put into antique buildings and they get shown off, and every now and then you take a rag and dust them off.
Why don't you let our guest speak?
He spoke.
He wasn't
Classic.
finished with his thought, and you're talking about wiping a cabinet. Shut up for a minute.
No, he's talking nonsense.
Classic things get cherished.
Right, because they get put
Evil-
away on the
It-
shelf or in the garage.
Evil
No.
things get done away with. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know,
Classic things get cherished. Evil things get done away with. I'm not performing.
I know.
This is my life. See, no diss to anybody that says that as a wrestler, but this is my life, and this has been my life for the past 13 years. So nah, it's not a performance to me. I don't consider myself a performer. This is
Oh.
my life.
One man fighting for his life, one man fighting to cash a check. There is no comparison there.
No, it's not, because my
Regimes
bank
fall
account
all the
is
time.
flat.
Gods are replaced all the time. And in the end, the
I
good guys
appreciate y'all
always
keep
win,
calling me a god.
even in the 80s.
Thank you.
Well,
Just beautiful.
that is unfortunate. Classic, thank you so much for I mean, I owe you one.
Ask him where he's gonna be living his life next. What show is he gonna be fighting for his life next? You know, things like that. Steve, that's what you do, right? Ask him where can people find him on social media and all that good. That's what you do. Go ahead, Steve.
Classic
All
Alpha.
right. Since he doesn't want to do it, Classic Alpha. Where can people find you on various social media outlets?
Why don't you tell him, Mr. Investor?
I don't give a damn where they find you. I really don't care if they find you. That's me, but you know.
You seem to know everything about me. My first name, my last name, everything, the account numbers and everything. But since you want to
Oh,
act
well,
like you
hold
don't know,
hold on. Yeah, that's the account number right there. Yeah. Okay. All right.
but anyway, you can find me on Facebook, Chris Classic Williams. You can also find me on YouTube, The Taking Home Podcast, where we're almost to 1,000 subscribers. I put my matches up from other shows. I talk about wrestling topics, and I interview wrestlers, including Mr. Young. He has been a guest for the. I guess I'm gonna use that as loosely as I can for a couple of the interviews and the segments that I have. So to see a better version of himself, go to the Take It Home podcast and look at some of the interviews and some
Yeah,
of
I
the
didn't
topics
have
we've
all
done.
this. I didn't have all this great.
Right.
You didn't have all that BS neither, but yeah, sure. Yeah.
Are you working? Is there anywhere else in the areas that you're working of late? Other shows that the people can go to and find Classic Alpha?
Yes, March 15th, I'm in Winter County, Wisconsin for Now That's Wrestling. We are Legion 2. So that's at Wood Eyes Bar and Grill in Winter County, Wisconsin. That's like about 4 hours away, but still, you'll see me in Wisconsin a lot for Now That's Wrestling.
I understand 4 hours into Wisconsin, Marshfield's far away for Frontline, so I feel your pain and I feel that drive.
Yeah, for sure.
At night coming back, man, that's
Yeah,
dark.
it can be brutal, but it'd be worth it. It'd be
Always
worth it for
worth it.
sure.
Always
It's
worth it.
always worth it.
Classic, you are a class act, and to come on this show and be spoken to like you were spoken to, and yet stay on for an hour and 15 minutes and participate and be present while an egomaniac is running amok. I credit you, sir. You will always be one of our favorites on this show. And maybe down the road before we take this home, we can have you back on better circumstances. I'll make sure I send you a show request on a night that C-Red's back in Hotlanta.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I made a mistake. March 15th is American Legion in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Oh, I know Appleton pretty well.
Yeah, Appleton is like, yes. So I do apologize for that as well, especially with everything with Wisconsin. I'm like there almost every month. So yeah, it's in Appleton, not in Winneconne. Winneconne is April 12th. Yes, April 12th, Wood Eyes. So
I did it. I'm stargazing. Life goes on. I need to hug my babies. I can't. Woke up looking for the broccoli. I keep a horn on the deck of my seat. I peep ownership. The blueprint is by beat. Mr. Get Off. I get off at my feet.
Oh, what's going on?
Chris, thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate you. Good luck.
thanks for
Good
having
luck
me.
in May. Thank you. Good luck in Wisconsin. We'll be following you closely. And remember, brother, you got friends out there. We got your
Thank
back.
you. I appreciate that.
All right, that was classic alpha Chris Williams from C3 Ultimate Wrestling.
Bye, Classic.
I'm disgusted.
You can go now. You can go. Hello. It's off, but bye-bye. Goodbye.
Crazy.
Bye-bye.
All right, Steve, man. It was an honor, Steve.
Bye-bye.
It was a good.
You're
I
gonna
am
say
so
goodbye
sorry.
to,
I am.
are you going to say goodbye to Squirrel Girl? Please don't be
Steve,
rude.
Nice meeting you, Squirrel Girl.
God.
Nice
Oh
to
my-
meet you as well.
Ugh,
All right.
so rude. Now log off. You're dismissed. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Classic, I love you, man. Stay strong. We got your
Love you
back.
too.
We got your
Bye-bye.
back.
Love you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
May 3rd. May 3rd.
Bye-bye.
May 3rd.
Bye-bye. Right.
May
May
3rd.
3rd, you're gonna
May
say
3rd.
bye-bye.
All right,
Na
sure.
na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey. Good. Wicked. Goodbye.
All right. See you there. See you guys.
I am so embarrassed right now. I can't even. I mean, I know I get a little out of pocket on the guests sometimes, but that was horrifying. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's your friend, for God's sake.
How many of us have them?
Well, at least I won't be the first one being cunty tonight.
Jesus Christ.
Ones we can depend on. Friends.
So do I have to call you Mr. Young?
No, sweetie,
Okay.
you can call me whatever you like. You
Okay.
can call me whatever you like. See,
All
he
right.
still can't even log off. See, what kind of guests are you bringing on, Steve?
I
You
am.
can't even use a
Look,
computer.
look, what you just did to that man, that great man, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's your
But I'm
friend
not.
right there.
Again. But I asked one simple question, and guess what? Even you can't dispute it. He opened this door. He signed the contract.
It's fine. Great. He signed the contract. He made a mistake, and you took full advantage of it. That's great.
You damn right.
That's fine. But still, would you do that to all your other people? I mean, maybe you would. Maybe you have. That's no way to live. And being being compared to God, Red. What?
I
God?
never compared
I don't even know what
myself.
I don't even know who you are, man.
I never compared. You guys kept comparing me to God, which is so flattering. Thank you. Oh my
Talking
God.
about the man's
But
wife and
I'm
his
not-
children.
What? I just said, guess what? We wanted to make the match interesting, so we
All right,
put her
all
in.
right. I'm done. I'm done with this. We're done with this. We owe Chris.
Yes. Let's talk to Squirrel Girl. We've missed her so much. I'm sure she's had a rough day. Squirrel Girl, what's going on? Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey girl, hey. Had a pretty good day actually. Had a pretty good weekend. Had a really good weekend.
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm.
was a
Why is that, Steve?
hell of a show, hell of a bout.
Why did I have a good weekend?
As
What
she
happened?
prognosticated recently, she said the comic book crushers were going to take down the defending champions. And I will tell you this, they were down 17 points in the second half, and they came all the way back to get the win. And it came down to the last jam, and they had a 6-point lead. And it was there for the Punishers to do what they do. But in the end, the Punishers could not get the job done. The comic book crushers added points to their total and got a victory.
Actually, it was less than a 6-point lead. It was
Was it a 4-point lead?
a 4-point lead.
Yeah. So it was close. And the last jam was untimed because there was a timeout right with 1 second. So it was virtually an untimed jam. And in the end, the comic book crushers, the former 2-time champions, took a big step into recapturing their glory. And I have to say this, the Squirrel Girl costume was absolutely fantastic.
I know it was. It was great.
You should be proud of that one.
I am. I'd still need some work, but I'm very proud of that.
So,
I
all
will.
right, take us through the event. Let's hear the pride. Let's hear Steve was wrong. Steve wore a shade.
Isn't that the theme of tonight?
Yeah, Steve is wrong.
That's what the show. Matter of fact, I suggested that's what this episode should be called.
I'm gonna wait before
Steve is
before we get into the bout. I'm gonna own this. I was not very good Saturday night on commentary.
You were fine.
I was not
Oh
good.
my
And
God.
to the knockouts, I apologize. I was a little bit out of practice. I hadn't done a bout in a while. It got real intense, real quick. I got caught up in the moments, the fights, the drama. I made a few bad calls. I made a few name mistakes. I did stuff that I pride myself in not doing. So you deserve better than that, and I will give you better than that as we move forward. But boy, it was out of the gate one of the most intense bouts I've ever seen. There was a palpable disdain between the teams, and some skaters really stepped up and played big. And I'm gonna initially, I mean, the usual suspects, they come and they do what they do. We talk about the Leica bosses and we talk about the Marley Quinns. We know what they can do. But I'll tell you what, a lot of what happened good for the comic book crushers, when the chips were down, the defense came alive and it became very difficult for the Punishers to score. And that's where you can take a bow there, Miss Squirrel Girl, because when you guys were in there on the line, you were not letting anything happen as your jammers shaved the points off and got back into it and eventually won. So the defense in the second half was stifling.
Yeah, we had it was a real superhero story, I'll say that. We started off pretty strong and then we were getting hammered, and it came to a point of, are we going to take this? Are we going to go down like this? And the answer was no, we weren't. And clearly we went from being down, I think, was it like 40? We had 46 points in the second half.
Yeah.
And we ended with 86.
It was a pleasure to watch. A lot of stuff going on. Powerpuff Pearl is a standout. Excuse me, jammer. She really stepped up and stepped out and was a leader on that team. So, obviously Catnip did very well. Punchline is a constant source of amazement. But boy, when those jammers got up there, Buffy, when the jammers
Buffy kept pace with Boss all night. Every time
long.
Boss got out of the pack, Buffy was right behind her. And this is, I think, only Buffy's second season jamming.
and she did great. And Pearl is new to me on the scene. I mean, I saw her. I think I saw her at one show last year when I was doing it. I missed a couple, so I didn't see her. But boy, she really impressed me with her speed and skill.
Yep, she's definitely one to watch out for.
But like I said, and I thought the Punishers had you. I mean, Ricky Ramone skated her ass off. And I thought that she had your number, but in the end, defense was where it was, and you and Grumpy and Marth and you guys you guys put on a show of defense, of restraint, and it took the life out of the Punishers at the right time and gave you a shot to get back in it. And I thought that was pretty impressive.
Thank you. Yes, we decided it was time to give back some of what we were getting, and the Punishers did not like it. So,
because they came out with all the momentum. They came out with the trophy. They came out with the sign. They came out with the energy. And, from that very first jam, things just got twisted.
yeah, you can only beat down on another team for so long before that other team says that's enough. And we said that was enough.
And Flexania and Grumpy, I mean, just everybody pitched in. It was the portrait of a team victory for the Comic Book Crushers.
Yeah, we all work together really well. We've been doing team only practices lately, where the practice is divided up. Track team for the blue, and then blue goes out to talk strategy, and then it's track team for purple, and vice versa. So we're not seeing or hearing anybody's stuff. And we've really been working on certain scenarios, certain positions, and it came together really well. And I think, like you said, the defense, when the chips were down, we said, if we're not going to win, we're at least going to stop them from scoring more points.
At some point, there was a conscious decision. And when I first started doing roller derby commentary, obviously I was enamored and enthralled with the speed of the jammers and what they were able to do. But as I call more and more bouts, I find that the defense tends to be just as important, if not more, because if you can take the jammers out of their comfort zone with good defense, you can really throttle a team down.
Yeah, when you see some bout footage, and even I see it, and I know what I did, but I'm like looking and I'm like, I didn't do anything this whole time. As defense, my job is to be in lane 1, which is the first lane on the inside. And why that is so key is because that prevents the opposing jammer from taking the easiest, quickest path around the track. And you'll see me
eliminate the inside track.
Yeah, you'll kind of see me do like a trap door sometimes, where I'll step over just enough for my jammer to come through, and then I'll slide back over and either hit out the opposing jammer, hit out their offense. And I hit Boss out. I got Boss out while she was trying to do offense. And then I'll shut that door and prevent them from coming through. And it's hard work because they want that inside. They want to make it as easy as possible for their jammer to get through, because if their jammer keeps having to take the outside, they get worn down faster because it takes so much more energy to take that wider track. So when I say I'm a lane 1 princess, I mean it. That is my lane. You will see me come up during, when we're lining up for the jam, and push the opposing blockers out of my lane and tell them, this is my lane.
You guys certainly made it. You made it tough on the jam refs, Goat and Jen and Tonic, all evening long. They had to keep up with absolute mayhem to keep the scoring right. And I think there were a few moments where there was some dispute about scores. And I saw Coach Megatron, talking with Judgment Dave. Judgment Dave had his hands full.
He did.
A supervisory and disciplinary situation because people were in and out of the sin bin. I think Boss was in there 5 times. Even the very peaceful, normally Ricky Ramone had entered the sin bin 4 times. So there were shenanigans happening all over the place. And you had the Fighty Duck and Rion Skills doing the fight refs, kept them busy all night too.
Yes, there actually were fewer fights than usual, and I think that's because there were so many smaller fires to put out all night that there was no time for us to really tussle with each other. There were really only everything that you saw was only between jammers on the line in the heat of the moment. It was really, really intense for all of us. We really just wanted to play, and we didn't want to be sidetracked by a brawl or petty differences or petty squabbles. It was, and that goes for both teams. Both teams just wanted to do their job. We just did ours better.
And there was a moment where Slayla almost got eaten by Buffy, which was
Yes.
a little
Well, that was
unsightly and a little
Slayla's fault.
unnerving.
Slayla attacked Marth. What were we supposed to do?
Not eat somebody.
Okay, well, Buffy
Man.
is a vampire.
Yeah, but that
Layla has a neck.
Indeed, that's fair.
Yeah.
So you start the season 1-0. So the Crushers have the advantage. It's going to make things difficult for the Punishers to repeat that first loss. I find that in just about every sport, maybe not baseball so much, but in football and basketball, if you get off to a slow start, sometimes it's hard to right the ship and it can make the season very hard. Punishers are very talented. They'll be back in very game, I'm sure, but a disappointing win can really be a down situation that has lingering effects.
And honestly, that's somewhat what happened with the Crushers over the last couple of years. We've had a lot of injuries, a lot of people out, and we've fought really hard to take our spot back.
Right. So as the knockouts move forward, there are 2 bouts in the month of March. There's March 8th and March 22nd. The March 8th show is a rec league show that's going to have some thematic elements to it. Yes.
Correct. Yes.
And
it is a rec league bout, and rec league bouts are for our newer skaters to get some bout experience without the full-on competitive nature of the bouts. Because obviously in a bout like you saw on Saturday, you don't want to throw new skaters into that.
Right. Yeah, it was highly personal. I felt like everybody on both teams was taking everything very personally. And that's why the big exotic fights, they did happen, but there were a lot of elbows being thrown. There were a lot of bodies flying around and on the floor and into walls and into fans. I mean, it was mayhem.
Yeah, poor Martha, we thought almost lost her head at one point. So obviously in a rec league bout, we want to keep things light. We want to keep them fun. We want to keep everybody in good spirits. So they all tend to be themed. And this theme, and I think I can let the cat out of the bag since we're really so close to it. It is sea creatures versus pirates.
Oh, well, I'm not exactly sure what that means exactly. Are you going to be a sea creature?
Wait, I think I've already said that it was sea creatures versus pirates.
Maybe.
Because we were talking about you and your outfit.
Oh
yeah, that's probably.
You're going to have some fantastic brows.
That's probably not going to happen.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I can't.
And did I share what my gimmick is going to be for this?
I don't believe you did, but let's hear
You
it.
did.
I am going to be on the pirates, and I'm basing mine on a real pirate from a few centuries ago. She didn't start as a pirate, from France, where I believe the king killed her husband. So she took to the seas and terrorized the coast. And they called her the Lioness of Brittany. So I'm going to be, it's the Lioness of Brittany, bitch.
Oh, that is
that not fantastic?
That is a goddamn delight. That's
I
good.
love it.
That is amazing. Oh God. So much to talk about. That they could do. the thing about the knockouts that people should know by now is the creativity is the straw that stirs the drink. And I having been to the after hours bout and the what was it? What was the last one? It was the Dungeons and Dragons one, right?
Yes.
My God, the thematic stuff is absolutely, they go all out. So me, I'm gonna be on the Pirates. I'm gonna dress up as Dave Parker because he was always my favorite pirate.
No,
No,
As the
no,
Cobra.
you're going
no.
to do the outfit that
You're
I
gonna-
posted
right.
in the chat. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing.
That
I
that,
will wrestle you down while Mindy does your makeup if I have to.
well, listen, Nan has big ideas about what this is going to be. There might have to be there might be a fight.
Then you have to meet us where we are. You have to meet our dramatics.
Yes.
If I wear my Dave Parker costume, that would be
No.
pretty dramatic.
No.
No,
No.
Number 39 in the yellow.
no, you need to
Mm.
commit, Steve.
I'll have to think about this whole commitment thing,
You
but
need to commit.
it's happening. Pirates and sea creatures. You never know what's going to happen in a rec league bout at the HF Auditorium. We have seen some things we can't say live on television, but
And some things we can't unsee.
some things we can't unsee. Like I said, I relearned female anatomy at one of those things, so I just I never know if my heart is going to be able to take it.
Do we
Then
want to touch on March 22nd?
that's where we're going next, and then we have the next Premier League bout, March 22nd. And what do we have cooking at that show? Do the Crushers have the month off because they just got the victory?
The Crushers do have the month off. It will be the Haunters versus the Punishers.
So the Punishers are going to try to get off the schneid and get their mojo back, but they are going to face the Haunters, which weren't they the champions 2 years ago?
They were. That is correct. They were the ones to topple the Crushers.
They were my first champions, and the Punishers were my second champions. So I've never seen the Crushers be champion, which is maybe why I don't understand.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys, like the
But
Punisher.
you can't discount history just because you weren't there.
That's fair. I mean, like I said, I don't discount Pearl Harbor, and I wasn't there, so I'll talk about history all day. Great crowd. I mean, could there have been a better crowd there on Saturday night? They were amped up.
No, it was pretty fantastic. Everyone was really
split.
involved.
It was
Normally
really
we-
split.
Yeah, and they were starting their own chants, which normally one of us goes out and leads them in a chant.
Right.
And they were all starting their own chants. They were chanting at each other, they were starting like response chants. There was like a "Let's Go Crushers" to "Let's Go Punishers" a few times. So it was, we always have really good fans. We always have a really good crowd, and it was no different on Saturday.
And I'll tell you, I'll say this again for those that do come, and you get those floor level seats. Be careful. Don't.
Yes, there
phone.
was,
Good
I
Lord.
believe, one collision, and then I almost collided, but I managed to change my trajectory enough. I did end up turning around and slamming into Eddie. Eddie stopped me from going any further, thankfully. So Eddie E is our videographer.
I'll tell you what, the photographers and E with the work they do, it's amazing. I mean, E is live streaming. He's on TikTok. He's doing all sorts of things. That man works as hard as anybody on any given bout night.
Agreed.
And all the photographers did a great job. I've been looking at some of their works, on social media today. I just shared one of my favorite pictures from the weekend a bit ago. So
I'm not on Facebook or Instagram anymore, so I have no way of seeing photos unless they're sent to me like this one that I'm using as my photo. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of great shots. The photographers do really, really fine work. And you know what? That's a testament because you have to be really good at it because there's so much it's such fast paced stuff. And you guys have like a murderer's row of photographers. Got Greg Meltzer, Scott Bayless, Lenny Gilmore.
No, it's Scott Bellis.
Bellis, not Bayless.
Mhm.
That's not me. My eyes are old.
That's
And then,
okay.
the Flex Anya, will be a photographer.
Yeah.
from time to
Lenny
time.
Gilmore,
Lenny Gilmore took
Ricky
some Ricky
Ricochet.
Yeah, she certainly has got a great.
And Punchy's daughter Bones, who is a minor skater, she does our photos. She does photos for us.
I saw her doing great photos.
Yeah, Missy has done photos for us. Jamie Salmon has done photos for us.
So you guys have a nice mix of different photographers. Steve Jurkovic has done photos for
Yes.
you. So there's plenty of great photographers, and of course, Lenny Gilmore did the photo shoot, right?
Yes, correct.
And we have all seen the
And
magnificent.
Lenny Gilmore is a former Bruise brother, so you may see him out there with us one of these days.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that obviously would be fantastic. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of reasons to want to go see a derby, and you get 2 shots to do it in March. And fortunately for me, both those dates I will be at. So, I will miss a few here and there, but I think I've got about 80% of the shows that I'm able to work this year. So very excited to be much more participating in all things knockout. And there is a very special thing happening on March 11th, isn't there?
There is.
Yes, there is. That you are always very important. It's very important.
Oh, bingo.
Yes. You're one of the callers. You're a shot caller at bingo.
Yep.
And that's at Sound Growler Brewery in Tinley Park. You never know. I'm going to play bingo, but maybe we do a podcast that night from Sound Growler. I'm not exactly sure if we can, but if we can, we will. Red probably won't make it, but he'd be on Zoom because Red sucks at bingo and Mr. Young sucks at life. But that's not who's here.
Oh my God.
It's Mr. Red.
He's such a fucking hater. Oh my God. He's really in his feelings tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough weekend for me, all over the place, and we'll get into the rest of that. What other knockout business do we have, Squirrel Girl? Anything else that I missed?
I don't think so. Nothing that's pressing.
But like I said, Saturday night was a fantastic bout. I was disappointed I didn't get to go to the after party because it's always fun at Rabid Brewing. That magnificent pirate that runs the establishment and his lovely wife do great work as sponsors and participants. And I just didn't get a chance to go because I had things to do at home.
And as human beings, don't act like they are 2 wonderful people.
They are amazing. They are really amazing. Tobias and Ray are just wonderful humans. Also, I imagine that if I do end up costuming up, I don't know how that would work at Rabid Brewing. So I imagine I'm going to miss
it. Would work just fine. Like you said, they are wonderful people. I can attest to that. So that's what 3 for 3 that we love Ray and Tobias.
Yes.
And I think your costume that you're going to do, whether you like it or not, would be very well received.
By everybody, not just them, but I
Mhm.
think the fans and the rest of the knockout and just
Mhm.
regular patrons that might just be there that night.
Yeah.
I just don't know how this is going to work when the photos get back to the general public and the rest of the world.
Commit to the bit. And what are you worried about?
I don't know if I'm worried about anything, to be honest with you.
Do you know how many photos there are of me with my whole ass out on the internet?
It's fair.
There are. Oh.
There are.
Oh, I knew he was going to say that. That's what Red does.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's what Mr. Young does.
Mr. Young left.
You've seen some of my bout fits.
I have.
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Fair, fair.
So if I can do that, you can get gussied up.
You might be right about that. Well, we'll talk about it. I'll have my people call your people.
Okay, sounds good.
Are you sticking with us or do you have to tap out?
I have to tap out. I am ready for bed already.
You're gonna leave me with this prick.
I am. I'm going to let you get your just desserts for doubting the Crushers.
This is gonna be hard.
Oh, he's not the only one. The Crushers weren't the only one he doubted.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you are going to get exactly what you needed, Steve.
oh yes.
But love you both.
Love
Smooches.
you, girl.
Thanks, Squirrel Girl. Bye, girl. Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
girl.
girl,
Bye.
All right, that of course is our favorite knockout. Squirrel Girl, Cactus Rack, Sedusa, you name her, Russian Blue. She's an amazing amalgamation of many characters. And check out the knockouts. I say it every time, but you should. It's really fun. All right, let's start with Frontline Pro.
Oh, really?
I wasn't there, and I feel badly because I love being a part of that commentary team with Annie and Chris and Thrill and Taylor and company. They're great to work with. It's the one commentary team that I don't have to watch my back now, apparently. Working with Levi and now working with Mr. Young. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see.
Watch it back with me. I'm a professional, Steve. Oh,
yeah, just ask Classic Alpha what a professional you are.
Hey, one has nothing to do with the other. They not like us.
The battle at Bakerville ended up being one of those shows that is going to change the trajectory of Frontline Pro in many ways. We'll get through some of the matches. I mean, I haven't seen any of the footage. I've seen some of the footage, but I haven't seen all of it. So we know ACR defeated Enzio Orlandi. We know Macaulay Rose defeated Badger Briggs as the Liberty division continues to heat up. Quinn Whittick and Sam Eli tagged up to defeat the System and Kevin Calloway. That is a nice bout of vengeance for Sam Eli. The return of Backwoods Brown to Frontline Pro. He defeated Azeroth, who is being managed by Jay Michaels. So that was pretty cool. We had Mr. Anderson, Ken Anderson.
Anderson
in a triple threat match defeated Dante Casanova and Ritas Atlas. Then things got that was up to intermission, and then things got weird. The Wrecker in the main event, Josh Price, the meat sauce, retained his title over Congo Kong. Can't wait to see that match. Jared Jax and Shaq Jordan fighting for the Bakerville title at the battle at Bakerville. That new title that only Jared Jax has held. They fought to a time limit draw. I can only imagine what a badass match that was. Those two guys not being able to get a pinfall or victory in that amount of time, that must have been a showstopper.
I agree. I need to see that footage as soon as it drops.
Not to mention, in the first half of the show, Joey Avalon defeated Kevon Lee. Kevon Lee is a big dude, but Joey Avalon might be the baddest man on the planet right now. So although it's surprising anybody can beat Kevon, Avalon's one of those guys that can beat anybody. The Rapture, our buddies, the Rapture, defeat the tag team of Ben McCoy and Sierra. And I shouldn't show this. I shouldn't show it.
So why are you gonna show it?
Well, it's going to cement my point about the chaos that happened, that I was you have to see it to believe it. So let me get it here. Hang on. This is
to join the Rapture? This is absolutely disgusting. Well, Steve will find out about it. Trust me.
He's gonna have a lot to say.
aren't even words to describe how disgusting that was to watch.
Amount of words that exist in my lexicon, I'm truly speechless and disgusted.
But shockwaves are being sent through Frontline Pro right now, right before our eyes. Mr. Anderson has joined the Rapture.
Wow.
So apparently the evil genius might have a little more genius left in him than I thought. So the Rapture called me out by name. And Aaron Xavier knows full well that in the history of this business, one of my favorite wrestlers is the aforementioned Ken Anderson. And for him to turn Ken Anderson on the fans, on me, and make him part of the Rapture is absolutely despicable. And when I get home to Marshfield, Wisconsin, when I get back behind that microphone, I will have a lot to say about that development. And the Rapture taking down Ben and Sierra, you know, the creator is really trying to find a way to come to terms with what he's done. I'm still not a fan, but I appreciate the effort. And Sierra obviously believes at least a little bit to tag with him. But for that to happen and Anderson being the linchpin,
Yeah, but
I'm pissed.
so I get you're pissed. I'm not saying
That's
you
my
should.
hero, bro. That's one of my
No.
guys.
I get it.
The
But
greatest
I also-
disaster, the greatest disaster that the WWE ever did was the misstepping they did when he was Mr. Kennedy, because they were right at the threshold of him being one of those transcending superstars, and they fucked his story all up. I have never forgiven Vince McMahon for that.
Well,
That was
but dude, think about
travesty.
who you just the name you just called. How many careers has he fucked
Man,
over the years?
Mr. Kennedy was the shit. Now, Mr. Anderson was just as great wherever he went. TNA, you name it, he did it. But there was that moment where I was that kid with the t-shirt and I would reach up to that for that mic, and you know, he had the best mic skills on the planet. He does LA Knight better than LA Knight does LA Knight, and he did it
Well,
first.
well, he did it first, and I mean, but again, what you're missing, I'm not even thinking. No, you're missing something.
I ain't missing.
And it's not about Anderson. It's not about Kenny.
Don't talk about the X-Man. I don't want to hear about him.
You're
That's bad
missing.
enough.
It's not about Xavier. What you're missing, what does this do to Avalon and Sierra? And I say that because we got a little glimpse of Joey not approving of Ben even coming to just thank her. He did nothing else, right?
Right.
I saw the video. He did nothing else but come out to thank her. And what happens? Joey basically rings her a new one because she's just trying to help. Does Joey now say, the hell with you? You made your bed, lie in it. I want nothing to do with you.
Avalon has that look at him.
Because he can't trust, he doesn't trust Ben. And it has nothing to do with Sierra.
No.
It's all about his relationship and his past with Ben. But what does I'm sure he's conflicted. Does he step in? You know what I'm saying? Or does he say, hey, this is the decision that you decided. So, you know, I don't know.
Well, I can tell you this, they better get on the same page really fast, because at the Recon show on night 2, Avalon and Sierra will be reunited as Team Bad Meets Evil versus ACR and Brock Hall. the scientist and the monster. And right now, Joey Avalon at a con, Joey Avalon is the most dangerous monster there. I'm convinced, because apparently now Joey's back in prime form and it's decapitation season and he's got his shovel and he says, you want to see a dead body, and he's going to leave a trail of them. So when Recon happens on night 2, you get to see one of the most engaging tag team matches that you're going to see in a while. That is a summer blockbuster film is what that is. So that's coming up as Frontline has so many shows. I mean, it's like they're doing 3 nights, I believe, at Recon, and then there's another show which is the Battle brand, and then at the end of March is the Baker brand, which I will be at on the 29th as I make my return, which I'm a little nervous now because the landscape has shifted again.
The 29th of March?
Yes. Or are you looking for pass? You're looking for a ride for me. You can go look somewhere else, man, after what you just did to Alpha. Maybe you could ride up there with the board. Call Urkel, the governor.
The last time I was there with Marche, wasn't I?
You were. I think you're gonna be with Marche no more.
Why not? Again, we have similar mindsets.
Very clearly, and we're going to get to that in a few minutes as we start talking about Chicago style wrestling. And yeah, Red, I took another one in the nuts at this show as well. It was a tough night for commentator Steve, GM Steve. The weekend was tough. We could tell.
But didn't I call all of this? Didn't I say? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you did. You did. It started off, I was behind the 8 ball right away with Big Business Levi as my partner. Now, I gave him a job review all night. I wanted to fire his ass before the 4th match. That bro was killing me. Just killing me. And me and Wade are just sitting. Wade's doing double duty with Stan Payne gone. Wade, we're bringing him along. I think when all is said and done, I think Wade Hunt is going to be a commentator that people are going to want to go see and hear. I think he has got such raw talent, charisma, and knowledge. I just need to get him out of his shell and get him to be the charismatic guy he is when he's the ring announcer. But we're working on that. He might be my replacement when I go. But we knew the night was going to be off the chart when it started. It was Machine 17, KJ Carter and Nathan Nile, the Lizard Man, taking on Chris Miller and FXB. And it was one of those matches. I mean, Machine 17 can aerial assault from anywhere at any time. And you got the ground and pound stylings of Miller, but you have the aerial capability of FXB. So it was going on, and it was crazy until Missa Kate came out with what seemed like 100 chairs and just started beating people up. Calling out Marche, calling out Boz. Missa Kate was looking for blood, and then she went backstage to find the blood. So, that's how we started. We started at Chaos. So that was a very strange situation. Then we had Jax Johnson and Eric Schultz, one of the great soap opera couples of all time, teaming up against Eddie Grayson and Jack Valor. And let's just say that it's over. The brass holes are over. Jackson and Schultz are over. As a matter of fact, Schultz was taking liberties on Grayson and Valor, and Jax Johnson came to their rescue. So at the end of the night, Action Jax Johnson was a crowd favorite, which I never thought I would ever say.
Who?
And Action Jax Johnson.
Okay.
I mean, if this was coming to America, I'd say that boy good. But he performed very well, and in the end, he helped Grayson and Valor, which was fantastic. Axel Rico and the Warhorse. an absolute showstopper. We said it might be match of the night. It absolutely was. The Warhorse beat the Workhorse, but they fought everywhere. They fought all over the damn place. It was chaos. But in the end, the Hate Keeper, the head Hate Keeper did his business. Remember we talked about the Double Jeopardy match?
Yeah.
Hollister and taking on Marston and Boucher taking on Uncle T. And then the winner of those matches that were happening simultaneously would fight in the main match to see who would win. Well, Hollister didn't show up. So then it became a triple threat match. And those boys went crazy. The three of them, Marston and Boucher and T, they give no shits about their bodies. And it was just one of those matches that just seemed to never end. And the violence, they upped it and upped it and upped it. And it just kept getting crazier and crazier. And in the end, I finally did it. When all was said and done, Warhorse comes out and breaks up the Hate Keepers. The Hate Keepers are no more. So I told you very early on when I got my job back that it was my mission statement to end the Hate Keepers. Well, at least at the moment, according to Warhorse, that's over with. But it doesn't take away from what those guys did in that ring. It was a special match. Quintero and JJ Garrett, another special match. Quintero retains the title, but
Told you.
Iniestra showed up and distracted him, and now it looks like Iniestra is very close to returning, and we're going to run back that match from December for the Metro Division title. As I told you, JJ Garrett presented all kinds of problems for Quintero, and they tore the house down. But in the end, it was the diamond in the rough. Then came that women's match. Somehow, after all was said and done, she did it. Amina Belmont retained her title.
Did not call that one too.
And Shaza, again, Warhorse ended the Hate Keepers, so she is certainly feeling the issues there. Haven Harris finally getting a major shot from Machine 17. She fought hard and valiantly. Lily was a showstopper. And Blair Onyx returning to CSW in crazy spider fashion. The crowd really loved Blair. So we'll bring Blair back as much as we can. I think the fans wanted and there was this moment in the match where she went full on crazy spider and scared the shit out of the entire front row, the commentary team, and half the people in the back. It was some scary shit, bro. She's got those Edward Scissorhand fingers. She looked like fucking Wolverine. Only at CSW, my friend. Only at CSW. Fly Death debuted at CSW all the way from Texas. Tell you what, there are big things happening in Texas because they gave Stallion and Cypher all they could handle. What a great young tag team these two guys are. Fantastic job by Fly Death. Got caught by Cypher at the end. So the champs are still the champs. But I would love to see Fly Deaf in Chicago a lot more. They present tactical and crazy problems for just about every tag team I've ever seen. If they end up at NWA taking on the Soul Touchers, Marche and Jazz better watch out because there are matchup problems abound there.
Oh yeah, somebody got to lose.
Yeah, Hans Carden and Rhino, and boy, Rhino there's just something special about Rhino and CSW. The fans love him, and he just gets such a pop when he's there. And Hans Carden, you got to give it up to the half crab. He almost tapped out the legend. But in the end, it was those 4 letters that we love so much, Gore. And we get Rhino with the victory. And I know you've been waiting to talk about it, so here we are.
Who, me?
Conan Lycan, Marche Rocket, the heavyweight championship match. And for the first part of that match, Conan Lycan owned Marche Rocket, beat him from pillar to post, hitting him with things Marche hasn't felt in a few years. So I thought I was right. Lycan younger, stronger, faster, Marche older, a little bit slower. But that's not how it finished.
Nope.
Things got a little crazy once the ref got knocked unconscious.
You don't say.
You know, the BOZ came out and they were taking liberties. And in the end, 1, 2, 3, All Day Marche Rocket reclaims the CSW championship.
Oh,
Didn't win it clean, not
But
even close.
doesn't matter. Didn't I say that last week on this show?
You did.
Oh, okay.
But that's when things got really interesting, because once Marche wins the match, Boz and Marche beat the hell out of Conan Lycan. Break the man's leg, maybe. Finally, Missa Kate comes out. And Missa Kate, you know, to her credit, came to fight. And she was swinging chairs and swinging fists, and she had Boz and Marche on the run for a minute, trying to protect Conan Lycan. And then a masked man show up. And that masked man was all the difference that was needed, took out Missa Kate. And then they're standing in the ring, and there was the unmasking. And guess who it was?
Tell me.
I don't want to say it. But you know.
I know, but tell me. The people might not know.
TJ fucking Steele is back. The same man I fired magically appears as if nothing ever happened. It's like the Bruise Brothers are reunited, as if nothing ever happened. So, as good as dead, and that is exactly what Warhorse said about the Hate Keepers. They are as good as dead. He said that into the mic. You'll see it when it comes out on IWTV. If I could take away the ending, one of the best shows CSW's ever done. But I can't take away that ending. It's there forever. And next month at Figure 4 Leaf Clover is the name of the next show. We will welcome back Hornswoggle. We will welcome J-Rod from OVW. And we will welcome Dante, who is a big fan of his, is Gunner Brave. So I was talking with Gunner Brave on the phone about him today, Dante Casanova. So, you know, we look forward to possibly seeing him, although we might not see him till April. He is on the CSW radar. Bad night for the GM. Not going to lie. Bad things happened. I wasn't able to get ahead of them. And then
Didn't I try to tell you these things last week?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But I you know what? I thought I had it on lock. I felt pretty good about it. But in the end, Marche Rocket
If I tell you something, listen.
and Big Business Levi. Man. Watch a wrestling show.
All I'm gonna say is
I
again,
can't
that's your
believe I can. We banned Levi from saying facts. I even tried to goad him into saying it once, and he didn't do it. So I'll give him credit there. He's a try-hard guy.
I'm just telling you.
He made
This is
everybody in the building sick last month, so he got no love.
this is your issue again. You know, all the promises that you made, you know, but you still like to have Levi. So I think you're secretly in love with having this dominance over him, you know.
I did.
You know, if I'm on commentary, you know, you have to share the spotlight. You don't want to do that. So
You share
you
the
know,
spotlight there. You listen to those. You listen to IWTV. You'll see it.
not with Levi.
I purposefully stopped talking so he does talk.
And that's the problem.
I regret it, but I do it anyway. We'll get him next month. Swoggle's in the building, so he's going to bring with him the luck of the Irish. So I'll look forward to that. That's coming up, I believe, on March 21st. So don't miss it. It's going to be splendid. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening this Saturday before we wrap this package. And wherever Rion is, we send Rion our love. We wish him well. Rion brings the best donuts when he comes to my work. You ain't bring shit, but Rion brings donuts.
I bring a fucking vehicle that needs to be fixed.
So does Rion. But Rion
Well-
still greases the wheel. Rion knows how to grease the wheels.
I ain't greasing wheels. Hey, I'm a paying customer.
He might not grease your wheels, pal. Better start figuring out, Mr. Young.
He ain't, you know, what he gonna grease my wheels for when again I teach? You can't, what he gonna do? Bring donuts for every student in the building? No. You know.
Moving on. Shamrock Showdown. Happening this Saturday, St. Joe's Park. Wait, I can't say it that way. I said that wrong. Happening this Saturday in Joliet.
At the park.
At
Thank
the
you.
park in Joliet. That's on me. That's my fault. I'll get better. The main event, the worthless champion, the paper champion, the man that is undeniably part of the undeniable, had his world crash down at his feet because Marshe Rockett won the #1 contenders match. So now Steve Michaels has to fight someone just as big and tough and strong and powerful as he is. So you've got the irresistible force and the immovable object. But the immovable object, you won't move him, but he moves way faster than you do. And you may slip out of the bear hug and get dropped in an M80 without too much consideration. So when we are talking about Joliet and what's happening this Saturday, he's all day. On a Friday night in Chicago, not so much. But at Shamrock Showdown, my pick is Marshe Rockett. All day.
Such a hater. It's either Marshe or not.
What about you? You're the one that fucking invited him to commentary. That was the dumbest thing you've done in RPW to this point.
Hey, you didn't want answers. I wanted answers. That's what
He didn't give us shit anyway. He didn't give us shit anyway.
Yes, we had a very good conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would love to hear the conversation, that the questions, the intriguing ones, the ones that Steve would not ask, please go to the Rocky Pro Wrestling YouTube channel and watch that match. And guess what? You will see that I asked the hard-hitting questions that Steve refused to ask. But that's why he doesn't want me at CSW, because he knows I will do my job.
Well, maybe we'll have to change that. I don't know. I only have so much power, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't even joke. We'll put the rerun hat on your head.
Facts.
All right.
So
yeah,
we both got Marshe.
Watch Cupid's Carnage. Watch the main event. All I did was call out our champion for being the busted ass that he is.
Okay, but he's defended the title all over the world.
He's defending the title for a paycheck.
What's wrong with
I
paycheck?
support the company because
Don't you go to work? You go to work every day, right?
I do.
And at the end of the week, you get a paycheck, right?
I do.
Case closed.
Wrestling
All
is
right.
different.
Next match.
IPW Showcase will be happening pre-show. we've got the big man back in town, Jay Thunder, taking on Gustavo.
Mm.
Bye, Gustavo. Bye.
Why would IPW sanction this?
I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to see
I'm not
Gustavo.
saying it ain't gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a murder, and that's not how we want to start the show.
Well, we don't have to
It's a
do
murder.
commentary. We don't have to do commentary on that match anyway. It's left to
That's the problem. Again, he murders Gustavo. Now the ambulance has to come in. We got to stop the show. They got to pull out a damn bad body. The police got to get called. The coroner got to get called. All this shit got to happen. That's going to put us an hour behind.
you're not going to get home by 9 this month.
Clearly.
So that's your pre-show. I love the fact that that IPW and Rocket Pro Wrestling partner up. And while IPW has been on hiatus, the brand has stayed active in the Rocket Pro pre-shows. That shows you what power can happen when promotions work together.
True.
You know, like I said, the Knockouts have worked with IPW before, and we've seen great things there. Hopefully, there'll be more to come. One of the matches I'm looking forward to. We've got a version of Youth Gone Wild. I mean, Rat J Flywheel and Matt Creed taking on the Freebirds, Buddy and Tristan. I mean, that's an absolute win for the Freebirds, as far as I'm concerned. What is Rat J Flywheel even doing in there? I mean, the last time we saw them, they were handcuffed like the Keystone Cops.
Okay. And I agree with you. And normally we would be on the same page.
And the reason it's happening is because Tom Heisman's dead. He succumbed to his injuries when he got his ass thrown through a table from the 1950s, and he literally went back to the future.
But is that a fact?
That's a fact. Dead.
Because here's the thing. You know as well as I do. When
He
it
got
comes to
sawdust enema when he got dropped through that table.
he got put through it hard. But I don't trust Heisman. You don't trust Heisman. You don't like Heisman.
No.
And we've seen You've Gone Wild and their fucking shenanigans before.
We have.
So, I mean, let's just be honest. That's how this shit started. So, I want to say the Freebirds. I love the Freebirds. I'm a
Just say it,
sub.
because that's what's going to happen.
I'm a sub level of the Freebirds.
Yeah, at sub level.
Hey,
Mr.
the
you
Urban
betray them?
Freebirds.
You gonna betray them at the Rocket Pro?
No, we got love for each other. So,
Just like you had love for Classic.
I didn't sign anything, sir.
Moving on. We've got the aforementioned Sam Knight taking on Ryan Matthews for gold. Go ahead.
You know already. I'm Sam Knight.
Yeah, Sam Knight's gonna kill that boy. If he hits that spear, he's gonna Ryan Matthews we're gonna take his 6-pack and it's gonna become a keg, because it's gonna be split open all over the floor. That young man, you know, he'll be that spear is not legal.
Yeah, it is.
Right, I'm not picking Sam.
Well, I mean, I can see why. Again,
Why am I not picking Sam?
the shenanigans?
The undeniable. They
I
might
mean, let's be honest.
They might have
Any
taken an
match-
ass kicking last month, but they're always come back. Damian Saint is a
But we gotta
Bastard.
remember there's a new sheriff. So again,
so you think
know-
he's gonna be the counterbalance?
I would love to think that he is. He's tired. I think he's just as tired of the undeniable bullshit and shenanigans like we are.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, which leads us into the next match.
Finally.
Devin August. Finally, Devin August versus Skylar Reed. The tag team that when they were together and they were not undeniable, they were a working, well-oiled machine.
Ever since Devlin May put that stupid Wolverine costume on, can't take him seriously.
Is it me? Is it me, or have you noticed he hasn't wore like before all of this? He shown that he had plenty of gear
Yep.
to wrestle in, and now, like, dude, let it go. You're not Wolverine. Let it go. You don't have animania.
He is going to get his ass drummed out of the UCU, the
You know.
undeniable cinematic universe. Skylar Reed's a bad man. We have underestimated Skylar Reed far too long.
True.
Devon September is going to get his ass handed to him on a plate. I don't care if I don't think shenanigans happen here because I think Nuke is going to stay perched at ringside because he needs this settled. He wants this to be over. So I don't think Damian Saint is going to be able to get involved in this one. So I'm taking Skylar.
Okay.
We have your best friend, your favorite Rocket Pro wrestler.
My best.
I'm sure he's well on his way to joining the board to help you out at C3. And of course, I'm talking about Jesus DeSafio.
Oh, hell fucking no. That'll never happen. I rip up them contracts my damn self.
So, of course, being undeniable, he's not in a match for his title, but he's taking time away from our show to address our favorite superhero, Kid Lat. Now, Kid Lat has been on the shelf for a while, and he's not wrestled in a minute. And this guy's going to stop the show to talk about a man that hasn't been able to wrestle at Rocket Pro yet.
You know why? Because he's scared.
There's no doubt.
He's scared.
Kid Lat is, I don't know what he's going to discuss with Kid Lat. Maybe he gets a title opportunity when he is 100% healthy, or maybe he just wants to make fun of Kid Lat. DeSafio and Kid Lat have history. So I will be very interested to see how that goes. We have got the Idol Meltdown as fuck's his name?
Old idols versus new idols.
What the fuck is that one dude's name? Not
I
Kevin
don't know.
Cade, Johnny
Michael Myers?
Goldstone.
Michael Myers. I don't know.
What is his name?
I don't know. Shit.
Isn't it like John Bow or Bowman? Just something.
John Bowman.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Okay. And
Yeah,
Damian Gray with Roxy Hart in their corner. Now I'm talking to myself, which is basically what I've been doing for the last half hour. Taking on the return of Joey Roth in ring and his partner, Johnny Nye. He's right. Old idols, new idols, with Roxy Hart doing her shenanigans in the corner. When you look at the flyer, this match would clearly favor the new idols. They're younger, they're stronger, they're faster, perhaps tougher, and they have Roxy Hart in their corner. But there's something that these guys tend to forget. They are messing with the dirtiest player, the most devious player that has ever stepped foot in Rocket Pro Wrestling. You think Damian Saint's devious? Joey Roth wrote the book on shenanigans and being devious.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I love it.
On paper, you would think the new idols have this in the bag, but Joey Roth is coming to Rocket Pro Wrestling with a plan, and he and Johnny Nye are going to find a way to beat Roxy Hart and her pimps. What do you say?
You know, I'm all about Joey. You know, I love the fact that he has admitted his wrongdoing. You know, and I love the fact that Johnny Nye is willing to give him a chance. You know, Roxy needs to just go back under whatever rock she's been under. Stay there. Bowman can do so much better.
Reconsider her hooker menu pricing.
You know, Bowman can do so much better, I think, on his own. He doesn't need the dollar store Fonzie to, you know, compete. You know, he's a world-class athlete. You know,
He's a world-class asshat.
I mean, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. The man can go. So
Yeah, there's no doubt. In other action, we have a special challenge for the Rocket to the Top briefcase, an open challenge. Maximus has to fight a mystery opponent.
oh Lord,
So yeah, that's
that never ends well.
I hope it's Joe Hendry
I mean, I would love for it to be Joe Henry.
or
I
maybe
doubt
Chris
it.
Logan.
You know, if it was Joe Henry,
Or
I
what
think
if it's Christian Rose?
I would love to see us get his ass whooped by Christian Rose.
Yeah,
But that wouldn't
could be
but-
anybody. It
so
could be Mr. Young.
it could be
Could it
because
be the real deal?
I could love a briefcase.
Could it be the real deal?
It could be. I don't know. Here's
For a
the
while.
thing, but here's the question that we don't know.
Could it be Gunner Brave?
No, we said goodbye. Who made this match? See, that's the question.
Nuke. I believe.
Are we sure Nuke made this match?
I don't think Damian Saint would make this match. Unless
Here- but-
are you talking about like the finger poke of doom?
But think about it. Wouldn't it make sense?
It would make
Oh,
sense. Shit.
he needs to get redemption in a way.
Is it your son,
No,
D'Angelo Steele?
no.
All right. So we'll see what happens. It ought to be interesting. Here's a match that I am looking forward to. I think this has potential for match of the night.
Okay.
The Dream Breaker,
All right.
Aaron Stone, taking on the back-breaking artist and the return of Jake Painter. Jake Painter and I go way back. I am a big Jake Painter fan. This guy is as good as it gets in this business. But Aaron Stone might be as good as it gets in Joliet. So you've got the Dream Breaker versus the Backbreaker. I'm not picking.
And see, that's the thing, Steve.
I can't
Because
pick.
I'm going to pick our champion. And
I mean, It
Aaron
certainly could happen, but I know what Jake Painter's capable of. I know where he's been. I know who he's fought.
Okay. And I'm not taking anything away from that. But let's be honest, Aaron Stone for the past few months has been laser focused.
Oh, no doubt.
He took the title off of Schultz and got no results.
That's true.
So, I don't know what y'all issue is. Like, did you not buy him a hot dog?
What are you talking about?
You probably Stone, man. Have you seen the way he look at you?
Look, you know what? Admittedly, I had some words about Aaron Stone when he was going through whatever he went through. But this is the Aaron Stone that we have known that is a Stone Cold Killer. We know that Stone is as good as he's ever been right now. So it's not.
I know, but I've been trying to figure out what you did to the man.
Well, I don't know, and it's unfair. It's sad because I've been in the ring with Stone. I know how hard he hits. He taught me lessons in that ring. I'm still learning.
I saw it. I was there.
He gave me a stamp of approval. So I feel close to the Dream Breaker. And I think the Dream Breaker can win this match, but he's never fought a man like Jake Painter. And that's the variable here that's why I can't pick it, because he doesn't usually get involved in matches with people that can do things like he can, and Painter can't. So it's going to be a doozy. It's the match of the night for sure. You say it's going to be Stone. I might be inclined to agree with you, but boy, Painter has been blazing a trail these days. You're going to see that man on TV soon. So that's a match to watch. And speaking of a quick match that shouldn't take very long, our favorite attorney, Eric Schultz, apparently drew the short straw because he's got to fight Brutus Owen Wesker. I
See
don't.
what happens when you miss?
Yeah, I don't know how Damian Saint let this happen, but here we are. So we've got Bow versus Schultz, and Bow will win that quickly. Although you know what, Schultz is doing great work everywhere he goes, so I can't shit talk and shit can the man forever. But boy, this is a bad matchup for him. Bow is on a mission. Bow is mad. You don't want to deal with Bow when he's not mad, but when he's mad, he's a villain and dangerous. So I think Bow wins that match. But you know, maybe Schultz has some prizes. Maybe we see shenanigans, because that seems to be a recurring theme. Although I don't think Steve Michael wants to get anywhere near Brutus Owen Wesker, to be honest with you. And here's a match I know you're looking forward to. The debut tag team, well, not the debut, but the title opportunity that these two men have been waiting for their lives, as Turtle and Sean Danger, Pizza and Beer, take on the champions, Aaron Arsenal and the Ripper Victor Wade, as they make their first title defense.
Well,
What do you think? Do you think Turtle and Danger can level up and beat Arsenal and Ripper?
you know it's gonna pain me to say this, right? Pizza and Beer is this once in a lifetime phenomenon that you have to witness live and in person to
They're the
understand.
tag team you didn't know you needed until they showed up, and you're like, damn, I needed this.
I don't know about if we needed it, but it's just like, oh my God, like I don't get it, but I'm not gonna fight it. I'm not gonna fight it anymore. So I would love to say that come this Saturday we have new tag champs.
Well, I mean, like I said, Arsenal and Wade are tough customers, but you know, like I said, at the park on a Saturday evening, anything could happen. And there's lots of amenities this time. The M80 bites are back. Do you think we'll get any this time?
Hell no.
Are we going to get some Marche rum punch?
I would love some. Now the killing part is you know who's back, right?
Who's back?
On our fourth seat.
Oh, the professor's back. Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? I'll tell you this. I got bigger things to worry about than the return of Professor Blackburn.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not taking it, I'm just saying, and don't you have an interview this week?
That's what I'm alluding to. I have no time to concern myself with the returning Professor Blackburn. I get an in-ring sit down with the man that broke Joliet's heart. Shaq
Why?
Jordan. Look, it's real simple. And maybe you don't understand this, Mr. Young, because you're looking at the world through your pride and your ego.
No, Steve, I'm with you. What are you talking about?
I'm starting to wonder if maybe that's not true. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully your Mr. Young thing only happens at C3 and doesn't happen, in my vicinity. But I'm horrified the way you treated Classic Alpha.
I'm with you, Steve. Understand? I'm with you.
I appreciate that.
And understand, I'm just the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because we both love at some point Shaq Jordan. Now I understand he did his own thing and went his own way. But do you think like now is the time to talk to him?
It absolutely is, because I'm not
Okay.
sure that it's too late. If we wait,
So your talk is more of a redemption.
I am going to go in that ring and I am going to try to find, through my interview, a way back for Shaq Jordan.
Okay. All right.
I need the notorious Shaq to go away and the generational treasure to return.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring up some things in this interview that hopefully will make him see the light and the error of his ways. He is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the greatest performers working in our business right now. Trained by Shogun Chris Logan. He's trained with Wrestle League. He's trained with Freelance. He's been everywhere, done everything. Has had big matches against people like Ali and Congo Kong. Defeated Quinn Whittick at Frontline Pro and took away a championship that Quinn Whittick had held for years in one of the most unbelievable matches I've ever seen. I know how good he is. I
Okay,
know what he's capable of.
true.
Somewhere along the line, Shaq Jordan forgot why we do what we do. Our friend Rion has said many times, wrestling is great if you can remove ego and pride. That's all Shaq Jordan is right now, is ego and pride. And I have to find a way through that shell to bring my friend back, because that's what I'm trying to do. Bring my friend back. It gives me no pleasure to berate him month after month, but I have no choice because he's defiling the honor of Rocket Pro Wrestling. What he did to Gunnar Brave, to take away a man that helped build this company since he was 19 years old, to do what he did the way he did it, unconscionable. The whole story with Gunnar Brave, and Gunnar Brave hasn't always been a great guy. Don't get me wrong. He's had his moments too where we weren't on the same page. But in the end, Gunnar Brave found the light and he realized why he was doing it. And unfortunately, Shaq Jordan is the man that put that light out. He's had a problem with the fans. He's been disrespectful to our people. He's been disrespectful in the locker room. He's been disrespectful to the Shelleys. I am going in that ring to interview Shaq Jordan. I'm going to hold him accountable for what he's done. And I'm going to ask him questions and I'm going to listen to his answers, as are we all. And we're going to find out exactly what Shaq Jordan is made of. I'm not going to pussyfoot around, Red. I'm going in
All
there,
right.
do what I do. I'm going right at him.
Okay.
And let the chips fall where they may. Maybe Rocket Pro doesn't like this and I get fired. Maybe Shaq doesn't like it.
You
But
won't get fired.
Shaq Jordan doesn't have to like it. Shaq Jordan needs to understand that he needs it. I don't get in that ring, Red. There's nothing in there for me. I've done my bit with Shelly and Joey Roth, okay? My wrestling days are over. We've clearly established that. I'm going to be 55 in a few months. I have no business in that ring. That's what Steve Michaels said. I'm a stain on Rocket Pro. And I'll acknowledge it.
No, you're not.
I'll
You know
acknowledge,
you're not.
I'll acknowledge it for what it is.
You're not. And
Maybe
you know
I
you're
have,
not.
maybe I have overstepped the bounds of what I should and shouldn't do in this business. And I'll acknowledge it. Hasn't always been pretty. I've always given my best effort. I've always tried. But in the end, I am not someone that should be doing maneuvers in that ring. But I'm getting in that ring and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look that man in his face and I'm going to look into his soul. And he's going to look right back into mine. And maybe we can find some common ground. Maybe we can find a way to go forward that's good for both Rocket Pro and Shaq Jordan. So to me, this is a battle for the soul of a very troubled young man. And I'm going into it with the best of intentions. I am not going there to put down. I am going there to build up, despite how it looks and what he thinks. Because he's got ego and pride going to the point where he's probably going to think that what I'm doing is attacking him. I'm not trying to attack him. I'm trying to save him from himself. So if you come to Rocket Pro, you'll see it. It'll happen at some point during the show, and whatever the consequences are, I will face them.
All right. I'm with you and I support you 100%.
I mean, don't you think it's about time?
Ooh.
What?
Yes. Oh, just looking at the Village of Dalton mayor election results. So that's all.
Is the new age governor the mayor now?
No, but the mayor got her ass kicked.
It
So
happens.
she's out of there.
Every election
But
has a winner. Every election has a loser.
yeah, but not like this.
Next
That's all I'm
Tuesday
saying.
night on this. Well, first of all, I want to
Who is-
apologize and thank Classic Alpha for being on this show. Red, you should be. I'm sorry, Mr. Young, you should be ashamed of yourself.
For what?
I want to thank Squirrel Girl for coming on and talking knockouts with me. I want to thank Red
Yeah.
for being Red most of the night. Mr. Young can fuck off, but I love Red. Next week on this show, we all win. Next week on this show, we are going back to whack.
Yes.
Super Wrestlers is upon us in just a few
Are
Sundays.
you going? Are you going?
I am not sure. My life has
Okay.
been turned on its ear of late.
Well, I understand, but
Well,
that's why
well,
I asked where you go.
it's gotten real. My wife is having a surgery this Monday,
Okay.
so I don't know what my week is going to bring.
No, that's
Her mother
fine.
is going to be here for the week helping me out, which is fantastic. And fortunately, the only business I have next weekend is the Knockout Saturday night, which is literally 2 blocks from my house. So I can go there and do that. No, I'm sorry. That's not even remotely right. Yeah, no, that's right, because she'll be post-surgery by then. So I'll be I'm very close. If she needs me, I can zip out of there, come home and take care of stuff. So it's fortuitous that my only engagement the weekend of the 8th is the roller derby. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to Super Wrestlers on the 9th, but we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions about Christian inheriting a candy empire. We have questions about Stephen Flo and his viral upbringing. So we've got a lot.
Even dude, like that song is like everywhere now.
Yeah. We've got a lot to talk to Billy Wack about next Tuesday night. And we will, of course, break down what has happened at Super Wrestlers and preview a bit of what is to come. The emergence of Danger Mask and his weird world. There's a lot to talk to Billy Wack about. And, we are fortunate that he comes on this show many times and does it for us. So next week, it's Billy for the urban sensation C-Red, not that piece of shit, Mr. Young. I am Steve.
Hey,
And
man, he's a good friend of mine.
we will see you next Tuesday night. And don't forget Rocket Pro this Saturday. Red and I will be there. Come on out. Have a good night, y'all.